If you search online for the Biteforce of a lion, you'll be met with the same numbers over and over again. Most websites will confidently tell you that a lion has a Biteforce somewhere between 650 and 1000 psi. Depending on age, apparently 650 psi if it's a younger adolescent lion, and 1000 psi once it's a fully grown lion. And these numbers are everywhere. They get quoted in articles, recycled in social media posts, and dragged out relentlessly in comment section arguments between animal enthusiasts who have never been within 50 meters of a lion or a pressure sensor. And then, inevitably, they make their way into the working dog world. This is where someone proudly announces that their pet Cane Corso or their brother's neighbour's Kangal has a Biteforce of 700 psi, sometimes 800, and occasionally 900, and therefore, according to Google, bites harder than a lion, which is impressive if it's true, and if PSI actually worked that way. The problem is, these numbers usually come from Google summaries, copy and paste websites, or trust me bro sources. They're rarely measured the same way, rarely explained, and almost never backed up with real repeatable data. Not to mention of how the force was measured, no mention of contact area, and no mention of repeatability, because Biteforce apparently is a single magic statistic, not a complex interaction between skull structure, muscle engagement, leverage, fatigue, and mechanics. So instead of arguing over PSI figures pulled from the internet like Pokemon cards, let's forget the Google numbers, let's forget the lion comparisons, and let's look at what real measurements actually tell us when you stop chasing headlines and start tracking data. There has actually been an attempt to measure a lion's Biteforce, and it was conducted by National Geographic with Dr. Brady Barr. The setup was fairly straightforward. An animal's head was used as bait, and a force sensor was placed inside the tissue of the head and neck area. That sensor was wired to a readout device being held by the Nat Geo team in the back of a truck. The idea was simple enough. A lion would approach the bait, start chewing on what it thought was food, and the sensor would record the force being applied by the lion's jaws. What actually happened was a little bit different. The lion attracted to the test was a young male. It had no mane, it wasn't fully developed. You could call this a sub-adult, a teenager, or an adolescent lion. Either way, he was nowhere near a fully grown adult male. And this young lion approached the bait, bit onto the animal head, and the device did in fact register a reading. The number displayed was 691. And this is where the internet completely derailed the story. All of the tests conducted by Nat Geo and Dr. Brady Barr were recorded in pounds of force, not in PSI. The same thing happened with the canine bite tests as well. Somewhere along the line, those pound force readings were mislabeled, reposted, and confidently quoted as PSI, which is completely incorrect. Nat Geo wasn't measuring pressure per square inch. They were measuring raw force, exactly the same way that we do. The only difference is that Nat Geo uses pounds of force, while we use kilograms of force and then convert to pounds for our international viewers. So that reading of 691 wasn't PSI, it was 691 pounds of force, which converts to roughly 313 kilograms of force. Now let that sink in. That single bite from a sub-adult lion produced 313 kilograms of force. For context, the highest Biteforce we have ever recorded on this channel came from a male Cane Corso at 207 kilograms or 456 pounds. The second highest came from a male Rottweiler at 183 kilograms or 403 pounds. The lion exceeded both by a massive margin. And here's the part that really puts things into perspective. The dogs we test are experienced working and personal protection dogs. These dogs are trained, driven, and fully committed when they bite the sleeve. They are exerting maximum effort. We can see it in their body language, their engagement, and the consistency of their spikes. The lion, if you actually watch the Nat Geo footage, the lion wasn't attacking anything. He wasn't defending himself. He wasn't threatened. He was doing what he thought was picking up a free meal off of the ground. There was absolutely no reason for that lion to exert force. In fact, the level of effort he applied is roughly comparable to the effort I use carrying my shopping bags from the car into the house. And still, with that casual, almost indifferent bite, he completely erased the highest Biteforce numbers that we've ever recorded from any dog breed. So when someone confidently claims that their livestock guardian, their Cane Corso, or their neighbour's Kangal bites harder than 700 pounds, we've already tested one, and it didn't even come close. And that's not an insult to dogs, it's just reality. And it's exactly why raw PSI numbers pulled from Google don't survive contact with real data. And honestly, I don't think we even need to go through the effort of digging through recorded Biteforce tests to understand this. We can simply put the two animals side by side and take a look at the head structure. On what planet would the animal on the left ever be capable of producing more Biteforce than the animal on the right? And this isn't even really about size. Although, let's be honest, a lion could throw the world's largest dog breed around like a wet paper towel if it really wanted to. The real difference is what these animals are evolved for. A lion's entire body has been shaped over thousands of years by natural selection to survive in the wild. And not just any wild, but one of the most physically demanding environments on the planet. These animals aren't eating chickens. They aren't chasing coyotes. They're bringing down enormous prey with thick skin, dense muscle, and bones that are built to absorb punishment. After the kill, they don't politely nibble. They crack huge, dense bones open like a can of Pringles. That level of Biteforce isn't optional. It's not a bonus stat. It's a requirement for survival. A lion without a powerful bite doesn't eat, and a lion that doesn't eat doesn't last very long. And that's the key difference people ignore. A domesticated dog, no matter how impressive, eats kibble out of a bowl. Its survival does not depend on cracking bones, overpowering prey, or processing raw carcasses day after day. And that doesn't make dogs weak or inferior, it just makes them domesticated. So when people genuinely argue that a pet dog bites harder than a lion, they're not just misunderstanding Biteforce numbers, they're misunderstanding biology, evolution, and reality. A lion's bite isn't powerful for bragging rights, it's powerful because without it, the animal doesn't survive. And when we zoom out from lions specifically, and look at wild big cats as a group, the scale of what they're capable of becomes almost ridiculous. These animals are not just strong in one area, they are strong in every possible way that matters. Their Biteforce, their neck strength, their mentality, their grip, their pulling power, all of it works together as a single system designed to kill, process, and survive. Take the leopard for example. Leopards routinely drag prey heavier than their own body weight up into trees. Not across the ground, upward vertically against gravity. We're talking about hauling a fully grown antelope, sometimes weighing well over 100 kilograms, 15 to 20 feet into the air, using nothing but jaw grip, neck strength, and their forelimbs. That isn't a party trick, that's pure survival. They normally do it to protect their kill from lions and hyenas, and they do it repeatedly, often after a long hunt. That level of grip strength and pulling power is something that most people struggle to even imagine. And then you have the jaguar, arguably the most mechanically terrifying of all the big cats. Jaguars don't just bite prey on the throat like lions and leopards. They are actually known for biting straight through skulls, caiman skulls, thick armoured reptile skulls designed to resist crushing forces. A jaguar's bite is so powerful and so precisely delivered that it can pierce bone directly, targeting the brain in a way that no dog and very few animals at all are capable of replicating. That's not just raw force, that is structural strength, leverage, muscle density, and jaw mechanics all lining up perfectly. Even cheetahs, often dismissed as the weak ones because they're built for speed more than they're built for power, but they still possess grip strength, acceleration, and takedown ability that would completely overwhelm any dog of comparable size. And then there are tigers. Tigers have been recorded dragging prey weighing hundreds of kilograms across long distances. Their forelimb strength alone is immense, capable of delivering blows that can shatter bones, and their neck and jaw strength allow them to hold, suffocate, and reposition massive animals during a fight. Every big cat is an apex predator, not because of one impressive statistic, but because every part of their body contributes to killing efficiently. And this is where the comparison with dogs really needs perspective. Big dogs are incredible. They are powerful, athletic, loyal, and in many cases, genuinely impressive animals. Some of the dogs we test deliver astonishing bite force for a domesticated species, and they deserve respect for that. But domesticated dogs are not apex predators. They are not evolved to survive alone in hostile environments. They are not evolved to hunt and kill animals larger than themselves on a daily basis. And they are not evolved to crack bones, drag carcasses, or fight off multiple competing predators just to eat. Wild big cats are. So when people try to compare dogs and lions, or dogs and jaguars, or dogs and leopards, it isn't an insult to dogs to say that they're not in the same league. It's simply acknowledging reality. Dogs are amazing for what they are. Wild big cats are terrifying for what they are. And when it comes to raw physical power, bite force, and killing mechanics, the predators of the African plains and jungles and forests operate on a completely different level. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, and I'll catch you on the next one.